Big reveals, multiverse chaos, and a nostalgic trip through the apocalypse as we count down the top 10 Easter eggs in Loki Episode 2. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications, especially if you're not a subscriber. But if you are, do us a favor and spread the word with that handy share button, would you? Don't forget to check out our review for Episode 2 with links in the bio and at the end of the video. Now to the good stuff. And surprise, it's a girl. We get foreshadowing all throughout the episode, starting right at the beginning with the voiceover at the Renaissance Fair.
Settle into your seats, for a great battle is about to commence. The prize, our princess. Will evil prevail, or are we holding out for a hero?
Then, with a Bonnie Tyler soundtrack to accompany our fight, I Need a Hero, sung by a girl, while our new villain kicks some serious tail. Was anybody else happy the Minutemen got their butts handed to them? I mean, I kind of was. I don't know if, Anyway, it was a lot of fun. Moving on to another tip of the hat, as Loki and the TVA close in on said lady in Alabama, the Roxxon logo sports not only a female hologram off to the left, but a nice XX above the sign, as in, not an XY guy kind of thing, but an XX chromosome type of life. Yeah? Nice job, Marvel. You might also remember Roxxon as appearing in Iron Man 3 and across other various Marvel properties such as Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's a staple in the comics as well, in a somewhat annoying little brother kind of cute, evil way. Aww, look at Roxxon causing all kinds of trouble. Our next 4 Easter eggs include a heavy prediction from the after credits folks here. As Lady Loki lays waste to the timeline, the TVA monitors go crazy and begin listing various locations we should remember from other MCU properties, such as Ego from Guardians 2, Sakaar from Thor Ragnarok, and Hala from Captain Marvel, home of the Kree. Beyond that, there's a few specific ones we'll mention as their own Easter eggs. Firstly, Asgard gets mentioned as a location of a variant timeline, and if you recall from some early trailers, we actually see Loki on the throne of Asgard. Not to mention that Loki comes across files for the destruction of Asgard in this episode and asks Mobius if they can travel there for their apocalypse test. Another location from the trailers that is seen on the timeline screens is Vormir. This location from the trailer with Loki sitting next to Lady Loki appears to be set in Vormir, and it wouldn't surprise me if we got a roadmap of future episodes from this one screen alone. What happens in Vormir and what they talk about is anyone's guess, and we'll just leave that for another prediction video down the line. Last, Jotunheim pops up on the screens also, and while there wasn't any footage in the trailers to pull from our last for confirmation, we're betting some travel to this location is a pretty safe bet, as some of the TVA files list Lady Loki as Sylvie Laufey-daughter, just as Loki is referred to as Laufey-son. Some sort of flashback as to how Laufey's son became Laufey-daughter, along with some necessary motivations for her coup, would be a nice addition to the show. Here's hoping we get to those scenes down the road. Back in Ravonna Renslayer's office, as she and Mobius share a drink and discuss Loki and his case, there's several points of discussion that make it seem like Mobius doesn't recall other people being in her office, or why his case trophies reside with her instead of him. One off-putting point here are the cup rings on Ravonna's side table. She reminds Mobius to use a coaster and remarks that he is responsible for the marks, although his own reaction makes it seem as though he does not recall doing that. There's a long enough pause on these rings that it needs to be noted, and we're betting these memory anomalies come back into play later on as a subtle indication that something may or may not be going right. After that, as Ravonna rushes off to help with the multiverse emergency, we get a glimpse of a helmet on her shelf with the numbers A23. Not only has the A become synonymous with the Avengers, but the 23 refers to the number of movies in the MCU up to this point, as well as a comic nod to Avengers comic number 23, which features the TVA, Kang, and the first appearance of Ravonna. Some good reading if you want to get to some origin stories on one of our newest characters. Lastly, the credits give us a little bit of mystery surrounding Lady Loki. Pictures from the Latin American credits of the show showed the variant that we know as Lady Loki listed as Sylvie, leading some to believe she might be the Enchantress from the comics instead of Lady Loki. Not only that, but her blonde hair is more synonymous with Enchantress than it is with Lady Loki. This idea is further supported by Sylvie's disgust that she is referred to as Lady Loki, asking Loki to please not call her that. Then, the use of her powers, which seem to be enchantments rather than illusions, a fact that Loki explains to the Minutemen in detail prior to their trip to Alabama, is further evidence that she may not be everything we think she is. There is, however, the problem of her TVA file, which lists her as Sylve Laufey-daughter. Now, this could mean that the TVA simply thinks she's related to Loki and to Laufey, and they just got it wrong. Or that perhaps, and probably more likely, Marvel decided to utilize this Enchantress-type power in their new Loki variant as a way to distinguish between the two, essentially combining some powers and character traits into that one person. Not the first time they would have done that, and seeing as how she's a variant, it wouldn't matter much what they did to her since she's, quote, not supposed to exist, unquote. Tell us what you guys think, and any sneaky eggs that you may have found. Don't forget to check out our episode 2 breakdown video, and subscribe or share this video across the entire multiverse. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.